A long time ago, I used to do up furniture. Antiques suited the house that I had at the time, but I couldn't afford them. So I used to find them very, very cheap and then revive them or even modify them to suit my needs. I found this cane chair out trash picking, and I just thought it was too good to throw away. There was hardly anything wrong with it, so I thought I'd see if I could revive it, upcycle it, reuse it, stop it from going into landfill. First thing I did was give it a wash. I used hot soapy water and a hand broom, which the bristles were soft enough to be able to get into the cane and get any of the dirt out. Flipped it over and gave the underside a good scrub as well. When it was washed, I rinsed it off with cold water and let it dry. So while you're cleaning it, you can spot any little bits that need to be fixed. And here we had one of the chair supports that had pulled out from its screw. It was originally screwed in there. A couple of little bits of cane that would not go back into place. So that's the main one there. We need to fix that. Now, because there was no easy way or to put a screw back in to hold that together, I'm going to use what they use in aquascaping for fish tanks, and that is a cigarette filter and super glue. Now this works really well with any irregular shaped objects. I'm just cutting off the old cane there. And where you want to secure it, you put your cigarette butt. You can use cotton wool, like wound up cotton wool. And then just put your super glue on it and hold it in place. Here I tried to super glue these two bits of cane back in, but they were just too springy, so I nearly stuck my finger to the chair. I cut them off, put a little bit of super glue in there, and pushed it back down flat with my nippers. I scuffed the whole chair with a Scotch-Brite pad, just a kitchen one. I'm a firm believer of paint won't stick unless you give it a surface to stick to. The paint I'm using is a paint and prime in a satin white. These cans range in price from about $6 to $9. I used a can and a half on this particular chair. That's Australian dollars as well. This is the second coat. It's come up quite well, actually. I'm surprised myself I didn't actually miss any spots. I didn't realise, but cane can bleed through, especially on the legs, like the bigger bits of cane. So you've just got to pay attention to that. Another coat and it came out all right. Like just on the actual things that bled through. Here's the twist. While I was at my local Bunnings, I found a small pot, and it was a mistint, and it was very cheap. And I really liked the colour. So I thought I'd try something different. I didn't know whether this was going to work. I don't know what the name of the colour it is, but it reminds me of old 50s cars that were seafoam green and white. And that's where I sort of got the inspiration for this when I saw that colour. So I started picking out parts of the cane work that I just wanted to paint the colour. I then realised that my paintbrush was way too big. So a quick trip out, grabbed some small paintbrushes because there was some tedious little bits of work to be done. And this is the idea that I was having. It's not finished here, and it still needs cleaning up, like edges. A lot of it was guesswork on some of the cane. You just sort of had to trust your instinct, and on the seats and on the sides, you just sort of, you had to follow the cane, and it was just about making a decision of where you wanted to go. I did try and use painter's tape, but that was, it didn't work that well. We got to the end and I thought, it needs something else. So here we are, this is what we started with. And this is the finished product. This is exactly what I had in my head. I think it turned out all right. I've never seen cane done like this before, and I just thought this would look totally different to your normal cane chair. The colour really pops in the sunlight. Like earlier in the video, it looked blue because it was in the shade. But I'm happy with this. Alright folks, hooroo!